look at the white rabbit, and the goal for this challenge is to steal the flag one, which is stored in the Jenkins credential store. And I will do this challenge by looking at their solutions. So we can see that the first step is to clone the Wonderland white rabbit repository. For this, we will go through git and clone their repository. So when you click this link, you will have to enter their username and password. I have already done that and went through the white rabbit repository. So I will click on the HTTP and say copy URL, and I will use this URL to clone their repository. And our first step was to clone the repository, so I will go ahead and do that through the terminal. I will just say new terminal and then write down the commands to clone git. So our command for this will be git clone and pasting what we have copied. Now we are cloning into the white rabbit repository. Now we can see that we have cloned the repository and we want to make changes. So we will have to go to their folder, and for this I will say cd and white rabbit, and now I am inside their folder. So the second step for this challenge was to create a new branch. In their solution file, we can see the command to create a new branch. They have used git checkout. This is for a new branch, and they have named it challenge 1. I will also be creating a new branch, so I will write down a command for that. I will say git checkout new branch, and I will just name it challenge white rabbit. So here we can see that we switched to a new branch, challenge white rabbit, and I just want to make sure that I am at that branch right now, so I will say git branch, and then we will be able to see that we are inside the challenge white rabbit branch. So for the further steps of the challenge, we will need to modify the Jenkins file to load flag 1 and print it to Jenkins build console output, and we have access to that, so we will be looking at that. The first step is to change the stage install requirements, and we will do this through VS Code. To make changes to the Jenkins file, you will first need to go and say open folder, and wherever you have saved your white rabbit repository, you will go find that file, and mine was under my user, so I will go ahead and find that white rabbit folder that I have under my username. Here we can see that I'm under the white rabbit. I will click on the Jenkins file because this was what we have to adjust in order to reach the flag 1. And install requirements is what we were wanting to change. So I will just copy what they had in their solutions file and go ahead and paste that over here. I will save all of the changes I made by saying Ctrl S and open up a new terminal to add the changes we have made to the new branch we have created. I will say git add, and this will add all of the changes I have made to the branch I have. And I will say git status. So here we can see there are changes that need to be committed. And we will check the next step at this point. The next step is to push the changes to the remote branch and create a pull request. So I will switch back to VS Code for that. To push our changes, we first need to commit the changes we had. So I will say git commit and add our message for this. I will just say solutions for this. And then we can see that one file have changed, which was the Jenkins file that we have adjusted. There are 8 insertions and 5 deletions. And our next step will be git push, git set upstream, origin, and the challenge white rabbit, which was the new branch we have created. So by this way, we will push the changes to the remote branch, and from Git we will create a pull request after this. To see if we have correctly pushed the changes to the white rabbit repository, we will check the branches, and here I can see the challenge white rabbit. So I will go into this and I will say new pull request, because this will trigger the pipeline and then we will be able to access flag 1. So I will go ahead and say new pull request and create pull request. So our next step for this challenge is to access the console output of the executed job and get the encoded C code. So for this I have logged into Jenkins, and the way I did this is going through the Jenkins URL and then entering the username and password, and I went to the Wonderland White Rabbit. So I can see my pull requests in this page, and here I can see one that was successful. So I will go ahead and look into that. I will click on console output to see the flag that we were trying to see. And here is our encoded flag. This is base 64, so we will have to decode this. And I have used an online decoding tool that decodes from base 64 to this format. And this will be the flag that we will be using to solve our challenge. And I will go back to this link for that, which is loading right now. Now I'm back to the challenges page. I will go to the white rabbit because I already solved this. It shows in this way. So I could just paste the flag that I have and say submit. Because I already solved it, it says that I did it. But if you haven't, then you will see a different result. And this is how to solve white rabbit. Thank you for listening.